Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into this really powerful shift that's happening in cities all across Latin America. We're talking about a move away from spaces built just for cars and toward places that are really designed for people, reclaiming the streets for life itself. And look, this isn't just some nice, hopeful idea. It's actually an urgent necessity. This call to action from UNICEF, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, you know? It's about the daily dangers that kids face on what should be the simplest journey in the world, the walk to school. And the reason for this urgency is it's staggering. In Latin America and the Caribbean, traffic accidents are the #1 cause of death for children between the ages of 5 and 14. Just let that sink in for a second. The leading killer isn't some disease. It's the way our streets are designed. So this isn't just some tragic, random statistic. It's the direct, totally predictable result of decades of city planning that put the movement of cars ahead of the safety of people. This car-centric legacy, well, it's created these environments where pedestrians, especially the most vulnerable ones, are put in danger every single day. But here's the good news. A really powerful counter-movement is gaining a ton of ground, and it's armed with new ideas and a super clear goal: to put people back at the very heart of our cities. It's a whole new philosophy that sees streets not just as, channels for traffic, but as vital public spaces for all of us. So on one side of this, you've got the official kind of top-down approach. It's called Sustainable Urban Mobility, or SUM for short. Think of this as the long game, the super detailed, government-led process to create this big master plan for a city's entire transportation system. And then on the other side, you've got this fast, nimble approach. Tactical urbanism. This is the short game. We're talking quick, low-cost experiments that let communities test out ideas right there on the ground, sometimes with literally nothing more than a bit of paint and some planters. So, how do these two very different ways of thinking actually translate into action? Let's take a look at the difference between that long-term official blueprint and the quick, hands-on experiment right there on the street. Okay, so the formal blueprint is known as a Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan, or PMUS as it's called in Spanish. And as you can see, it's this meticulous multi-step process. It involves a ton of data collection, planning, and then finally implementation. It's incredibly thorough. But, and this is a big but, it can take years to get it all done. But here's the thing. While all those planners are working on those big, long-term visions, citizens are facing danger every single day in intersections that look just like this one. I mean, this is your typical high-risk scenario, right? You've got these long, unmarked crossings that force people to just weave through this chaotic mess of traffic. The cars just dominate everything. But now, just watch what happens when you apply tactical urbanism to that exact same space. Using cheap materials, we're talking paint and planters, that crazy intersection is completely transformed. I mean, almost overnight. And suddenly you have shorter, way safer crossings and brand new public spaces literally carved out of the asphalt. This table here just lays out the difference perfectly. Formal planning is a top-down, high-cost marathon. Tactical urbanism, that's a bottom-up, low-cost sprint. One is aiming for a permanent, perfect plan years from now. The other is all about testing ideas and building momentum right now. Now, this whole spirit of reclaiming space, it isn't just for streets. I mean, once you start to see the city as something that can be reshaped for people, you start seeing opportunities absolutely everywhere. So what happens when that same mindset turns from asphalt to agriculture?
Yeah, that same exact ethos that's reclaiming intersections is now greening the concrete jungle. People are taking these neglected and degraded areas, forgotten lots, old railway sidings, even former dump sites, and turning them into these life-giving community gardens. And this isn't just a handful of gardens. In Rosario, Argentina, this idea has just exploded. The city's urban agriculture program now supports 160 active gardeners, or huerteros as they're called, who are all working together to cultivate these once-forgotten spaces. And the impact is immense. I mean, it goes so far beyond just growing some food. These gardeners are transforming unusable land into these beautiful park gardens, which boosts food security for everyone.
They gain economic rights, they set up educational programs for local schools, they even build citywide recycling systems like the La Lombriz Feliz project in Lima. But really, at its core, this whole thing is about rebuilding strong community bonds. So, when you put all of these different pieces together, you've got the planners, the tacticians, the gardeners, what do you actually get? Well, you get a really powerful toolkit for building better cities. And it's a toolkit that's available to pretty much everyone. You see, the most effective transformations, the ones that really last, they don't just rely on one method. They happen when you blend the big picture, long-term vision of formal planning with the rapid, tangible results of tactical urbanism and the deep community-building power of urban agriculture. Okay, so let's just wrap up with the key takeaways. First, the old way of prioritizing cars, it created unsafe and unfair cities. That's a fact. But the good news is we have the tools for change. We can mix those long-term plans with short-term experiments. Tactical urbanism gives communities the power to test ideas fast and cheap, and urban agriculture turns wasted space into these amazing hubs of community. And it all adds up to the same thing, a people-first city that's healthier, safer, and way more connected for every single person. And that really leaves us with a final thought to carry with you. The next time you walk through your own neighborhood, your own city, look around. I mean, really look. What empty lot, what overly wide street, what forgotten corner is just sitting there waiting to be reclaimed for the community?